What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Venom. I tried to do the Venom voice. It did not work. I apologize. Anyways, this one comes from Sony Pictures and in association with Marvel, and they said that three times throughout the credits, so they wanted us to make sure we knew it was in association with Marvel, so I want to tell you it's in association with Marvel. Anyways, this one is directed by Ruben Fleischer. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I apologize. And he is from Zombieland fame and a couple other movies we won't talk about, but it is directed by him, and the story goes as follows. It follows Eddie Brock, a photojournalist, and he's just going around town, getting scoops, taking down corrupt people, bad people. He is a hero with no cape. He walks among us, and he does the dirty work and takes down people that we do not like in the world, and he does some good. And so that's what he does. And so he's working on a story in a lab called Life International, and he comes across this black goop that's alive. It's just kind of crawling around everywhere, and it's a symbiote. So this thing attaches itself to Eddie, and so it becomes Eddie. They become one, and it forms itself into this alien being with these bright white eyes known as Venom. Now, Venom is kind of a tricky thing because it does go around and eat people, but Eddie Brock is also controlling it, so he's also a good guy, so it's more of an anti-hero, not really a hero per se, and Venom is based on the character from the Marvel comics and also from the universe of Spider-Man in the comics. So that is your setup. And, going into this movie, I was really, really hesitant because I didn't really care for any of the posters. I thought they were like just grade 1 level Photoshop work. It just, nothing about it just really spoke out to me in terms of like, yes, that really represents the movie in a non-fake looking way. So yeah, the posters didn't really do it for me. Just, they did not look remotely interesting. And then the trailers, I did not like any trailers that came out. TV spots, what name you, I didn't like any of it. I don't know if it was the way it was cut or if it was the way they were acting in the scenes and it was the way it was cut. It just, nothing clicked with me. And it was super worried going into this because I love me my comic book movies. But since I haven't liked any of the marketing for this, I was worried. But the one saving grace is Thomas Hardy. I adore this man. And so when I heard that he was cast as Eddie Brock / Venom, I was like, oh wow, this is an Oscar caliber actor. Some good's going to happen out of this, right? And then of course you get like Michelle Williams and Riz Ahmed. You're like, wow, this could really go somewhere. So didn't like any of the marketing. Then the embargo dropped the other night, and I heard from several critics across Twitter and Facebook that some liked it, some thought it was okay, and then some thought it was so bad they were comparing it to Catwoman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 2018. Let's not reference that movie ever again. So I went to go see it. I think Venom is okay at best. There's nothing really inherently bad about it. Nothing really great about it. It's just there. So let's get real and break this down. So what director Ruben Fleischer did, and I don't really fault him for it, was make a very safe studio movie. Ruben Fleischer, to me, is a director that does have some sense of style, some sense of flair to really set him apart from other directors to make me go, oh wow, I can see his fingerprints all over that. I didn't see any of that. This movie is bland, doesn't really take any risk, no anything different in terms of visual look, action sequences, story development in the comic book genre. It's just everything was so safe and so factory defaulted. I was like, there's no way that he directed this. This was all the producers and just telling them what to do and just I feel like I'm not going to say there was no passion behind this. I don't feel like Ruben Fleischer's the type of person that's just going to cash in a check and just walk his way. I think he really, really tried. But I just think, once again, Sony just loves to dip their hands in the cookie jar too much, and it just comes across as just a very safe product that doesn't really try to do anything different. Now, I don't mind safe movies. I can forgive average stories or average origin stories if everything else is good. But the problem is, everything else is either okay at best or kind of bad. So, with the kind of blandness of Ruben Fleischer, the script itself, the story is whatever. Whatever. It's just, it's so generic. There's really not much to comment on. The dialogue in this thing is a little hit and miss. And there's a lot of cringeworthy moments. A lot of when Venom is talking to Eddie, and we have that back and forth, and it's just sometimes the dialogue that comes out of like the grovelly, like, just like heavy Venom voice, it just does not fit at all. And that goes into the comedy of this thing. Nothing in this movie made me laugh. There was maybe a couple times where I maybe like had a smirk. It might have been a twitch in my face because I didn't have any caffeine tonight, but that's neither here nor there. I may have had a smirk or two from a couple of lines that were in the movie that were like really nicely edited with the timing. Other than that, the comedy does not work. And so that also goes back into the dialogue and just kind of cycles through, and it's just, it's bad sometimes. The story itself is whatever, but the dialogue and the comedy are, no thank you. So, the man of the hour, Thomas Hardy. I thought him, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed were miscast. These three actors are top-tier Oscar-level actors. None of them fit in this movie. Tom Hardy felt like he was in a different movie. Michelle Williams was there. And Riz Ahmed looked like he was kind of having fun with the material. But once again, just a waste of these three people's talents. And I also never believed once they were in their roles. Riz Ahmed was this, tech mogul. I didn't really see it. He didn't really convince me that he was one. Michelle Williams was a lawyer. Cool, that we really never got to see any of. So I was like, okay, she's there. And then Tom Hardy, I said this from the trailers, because I thought that maybe he could transcend this role a little bit. But when I saw the trailers, one of my biggest issues with it was he does not look like a photojournalist at all. I was proven right. He does not fit this role. Yes, is he an actor capable of doing all the crazy like head shakes and like, oh my god, Venom is in me, like, yes, he is capable of that. But their roles and their characters, it does not fit the actors at hand. And so that was a huge disappointment. And going back to the comedy, oh dear Lord, Tom Hardy. I think he's a talented individual, and I will watch him in anything, but that man's comedy is awful. And I heard that he improv'd some of this movie. Don't. I like you, man, but doing actual comedy or something, it didn't fit, and it's just so awkward. Okay. So, when he transforms into Venom, you expect like some action scenes, right? Like something entertaining and worthwhile, right? I'd say kind of. Some of the action scenes were actually well done. A lot of them have decent special effects, whether they be the CGI or the choreography. I just thought some of them were fine. Where I was like, hey, it's got a little pep in its step now. I like I like what I'm watching. It's not really great or anything, but it's better than what I just saw. And then a couple of the action sequences were shaky cam, fast cuts, and just kind of like just rushed through as if like the movie was just trying to get done as fast as it could. And so I was like, okay. With Venom looking the way he is, and when he was fighting Riz Ahmed at the very end, it's like, I kind of wish there were some wide shots. We get to see a little bit more of these beastly, grotesque aliens going at it, and I feel like we should have seen everything instead of like these close with their face or their fists. it doesn't warrant, the shaky cam fast cut because it looks very, it doesn't look right. It's just flash frames of CGI and it just doesn't look good. And the CGI in Venom actually wasn't bad. The CGI on Riz Ahmed was pretty bad, but Venom he looked slimy, he looked shiny, he looked like this otherworldly thing with grotesque teeth and a disgusting tongue. It wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed the look of Venom. That wasn't the problem. It's just the action sequences in which that character is in sometimes was a hit and or a miss. And along the lines of the action sequences, the green screen work is awful in this movie. This is a big budgeted movie, and the green screen work is atrocious. There's a difference. So you have the CGI, computer generated images, to where you have Venom, who is not real, and he looks more real inside of the frame than when Tom Hardy is like on a motorcycle and it cuts to a close-up of him and you see the motorcycle chase behind him, or the car chase behind him. It's awful. There's a scene where he's standing on a bridge like looking outward, and then behind him cars are moving. It's bad compositing work, and I don't know how you would fix that. I guess more rendering time, more I don't know. But it just looks so lazy and so bad on the green screen work. I cannot tell you how bad it is. Okay, so the movie was just kind of whatever, right? Didn't really offend me, whatever. The post-credit scene is actually good. And that is the scene I would have loved to see a whole movie around. So it gives me hope for a sequel. I don't know how it's going to do at the box office this weekend. But that post-credit scene was pretty good. And I was like, that's the movie I wanted to see. Because what we saw was this producer hand in the cookie jar making this factory defaulted product and just pushing it through as fast as possible on this conveyor belt with no creativity or no oomph behind it. It's just a movie that's there. So it's frustrating when you see that post-credit scene. You're like, wow, that's the movie I wanted. But we had to wait until a sequel, and I don't even know if a sequel is going to happen. So, not offensive, not bad, not good, not great, whatever. I'm going to give Venom a C. So, what did you guys think of the movie? Have you even heard of it? Comment in the places right below my face and let me know. Excuse me. And as always, guys, that will do it for stuttering, guys. That will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.